Counselor Accents Podcast. Two school counselors who love their jobs. Oh, and they happen to have Southern accents too. Bless their hearts.
I'm Laura Raycourt. And I am Kim Crumbly. And together we are Counselor Accents. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning to you. We are jet lagged, fresh off the plane from ASCA 22.
Worn out from each other. Worn out.
So sick of each other.
If I
And
never see your face, it's too soon.
smiling through gritted teeth, let me just say.
Oh, not enough sleep. I love the way we're jet lagged from Texas to Alabama. Like it was these
with
huge
no delays. It
zones.
was an easy flight. Yeah, nothing.
Yes, it was just. So we're going to do a quick because we're excited about our response from some of our hacks, school counseling hacks. And so I know everybody couldn't be there. And I know too, Laura, that we are getting ready. A lot of people are thinking about school starting back up.
Yep.
What do I need? And there are just some have-tos I will not do without.
People said, could you please turn your session into a podcast? And so I think that we will sprinkle some in here and there throughout the year, maybe, break this up into a couple of podcasts.
Absolutely. Or more, because we're really just looking at what we're going to call tabletop hacks. And these are things that we're going to talk about that sit on a table, sit on your desk, and they are not tech, they are hands-on. And we are going to, these are things that you can get on Amazon or other places, but these are our not going to do withouts this year.
Yes.
So Laura, we're going to do our top 5 tabletop hacks.
Okay. You start. Number 1.
Okay. My number 1 is going to be, and you know this about me, is my small portable laminator.
Okay.
And I think it's so important to me this time of year because we get a lot, like I've got a new school calendar, a 1-page school calendar. Run that off, laminate that booger, hang one up on the wall, put one in my planner. And then a lot of, I know that's probably going to be one of our top 5 tabletops. I don't know, might be the planner. But laminating, I've got some things I want up in the bathrooms, up in the hallways for the new school year. My little 1-page laminator, love it. Not expensive. Would not do without it. Not going to work without my laminator.
And see, that's not something that I've ever considered purchasing as a laminator. And you've talked me into it because how easy.
It's just easy access. I'm not going to go up there and get in line with that huge school laminator. You turn it on, you have run the risk of burning the school down. I'm not going to say that's nearly happened to me, but I'm not going to say it hasn't happened to me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, and let me say this. One day last year, I was working the laminator at my school and I had to send my principal a message. I said, is there any trick to getting this thing to turn on? Because it would not turn on. She said, you've got to push it to the left like you're pushing it to the neighbor's house. And then you've got to jiggle it 3 times and shift it. And so there's a trick that unless you've been there for 25 years, you don't know. And the only person, I'm not making this up, the only person in our school who can fix it, who knows the tricks to it, is our custodian.
We have the one person that knows, and it's like they have all the power. It's the one person who is I call it the lemonade god. Yeah. And it's like this power that they have over understanding the laminator. No, this is turn off, slip through, you put it in a sleeve. I just love the process of putting it in the sleeve, smelling it burn through, and pulling that thing out, and it is rock solid.
Yeah, and your special laminator is much different from that laminator, the school laminator, because yours is thicker, automatically thicker.
You can make it as thick as you want to make it, which is the beauty of this. If I went on a wall, I make it thicker. If I went in my planner, it's going to be thinner.
Okay, right now I hear Amazon carts filling up left and right.
Can't do without it. I'm serious about that. Okay, number 2, take it.
Okay, mine is, and you know this, mine is my little desktop shredder. And when we did kind of a fun game with this at ASCA and asked people, would you rather have a shredder or a something else? And they picked the something else until we said, no, guys, you can put your kids' worries down in this little shredder. It's a hand crank. They run their worries through this shredder. It shreds their worries. And then people started changing their vote and they voted for the mini shredder because they thought it was just like to shred your documents. No, this is a mini, like, what would you say, 6 inches by 6 inches, sits on your desktop shredder. And I keep little index cards, have the kids write anything like their
Again,
negative thoughts.
paper size. It's just that little, and
Oh,
two,
yeah.
if you have that one document that, I don't want anybody to see this, you can just zippity doo dah
Yeah,
hand shred
sure.
that thing instead of dragging out the big one that you got to plug up, all
Yeah.
that. So yes, that is, I will not go to work this year. Those are my demands. I must have the handheld shredder.
Okay.
Okay, number 3, if I may,
You
and
may.
think clearly because we only have 2 more,
Ugh.
is the sitting on my desktop is going to be my planner.
Okay.
And it is going to be a special kind of planner, and we know this. We share this. It is the planner where you put the disc in so that you're continually able to add new pages. This time of year, you think you know everything that you want in your planner. You do not, because you're going to have that principal meeting. You're going to have things that are changing with your district, and you want those right there at your fingertips and able to add that any day, anytime. That's the planner that I want sitting on my desk every day.
And that was a game changer for me because I used to go to Staples. I would get my planner in order, go to Staples, and it was like, this is it. This is the moment. And they would bind it with the spiral bound deal. And when you told me about those little discs that you can buy at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or maybe even Target or Walmart, those little discs, and then you have to use the special hole puncher, and then you just add those documents in, it is a game changer. And
It's so worth it. It's so worth it.
My planner may be my school planner. No, it is my life planner. I use it for everything. I think that is a very good choice. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And who likes the word bound? Does anybody like the word bound?
Good point.
Once you said that, that's just, I've got to have the freedom.
You got to be able to breathe.
If you hear me, I don't like to be bound in my clothes. I don't like to be, I'm naked right now. Nobody knows unless they're on YouTube. They can see, clearly not.
Oh man. Okay. Well, are we ready to move on to the next one?
We are ready.
But you really put the pressure on me because thinking about how we only have 2 left, that's kind of scary. So the one that I think I'd like to mention, I have not used it, but I am going to be purchasing it because you talked me into it. It is the label maker. Now, I know what you may be thinking. The label maker that spits out those little plastic labels that fall off of everything. No, this is a label maker that prints off adhesive labels. They look like folder tabs. You put them on the folder tabs. And so I can't tell you how much time I have spent wrestling with my computer, with my printer, to try to figure out the perfect dimensions for those for those folder tabs. Back a few years ago, I finally gave up on printing them on actual labels, and I had to measure the file folder tab and then cut them with scissors and tape them on the file folder tab, and they still weren't the right size. That was too much work. So you talked me into this label maker that connects to your computer, connects through Bluetooth to your phone, your computer. You design the label and it spits it right out. It is the size of a file folder tab. I'm getting it.
Game changer, inexpensive, and fun. I mean, I like to, even if I'm not organized, I like to give the appearance of organization.
I hear you.
And I like the process maybe than the end, more than the end. So I will be labeling everybody and everything.
I'm labeling my children. I'm labeling my dog.
Enjoying it now. I am labeled, all body parts are labeled now.
Well, since you're naked.
It was easier. It just makes it easier.
All right, number 5, and I'm nervous.
I am I am almost afraid with this last one because I feel like this is because I've got many in my head that I want to share. So is there one that you are absolutely got to get out?
I feel like you have all the power right now.
Yeah, and that's what makes me, but you know what? I'm going to say if I didn't, we're gonna do more of these. So if we didn't hit, it's okay, Laura. It's
We're not
okay.
bound. We're not bound.
You're not going to be bound. And I'm almost afraid to say, yes, this is where I want to go with this. But I think it's not even my idea. It's one that is a new idea to me, but my computer sits on my desk every day, right?
Mhm.
My computer sits on my desk. And so this came from somebody else, but it is to create in a slide or create on Canva or whatever and have 3 different sections, maybe one for small group, one for individual, one for whole group or whatever, maybe more than that, like school, uh, administrative side or whatever, and you pull those slides into those sections. And I don't even know if that makes sense if you can't see that. But
Well,
organizing my desktop would be my next hack. Is
like
to
your
pull those
computer
in.
desktop.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we shared this on our Instagram because when I saw it, and I'm going to be honest, it was like midnight when I saw it, and I shared it, but I didn't share all of it because I was half asleep. So
Okay.
um, it was amazing when I saw it. But yeah, somebody showed how to design a background for your computer that has different sections. So if your sections as a counselor are, like you said, small groups, or maybe scholarships, or maybe students I need to meet with, or I don't know, whatever your folders on your computer are, then it was just creating those sections on a JPEG. You can do that through Canva, you can do it through PowerPoint, and then saving that background on your desktop. And then you're able to drag your folders on your desktop into those sections for organization, because I spend a lot of time hunting for things that I need on my desktop in folders.
Absolutely.
And that would be a great hack to keep us organized.
I absolutely had to share that because it's got my wheels going, and that is going to be on my desk. Organization, they're looking at that every single day.
Yeah.
Shall we end with that 5 and just say that there's more to come as we travel through the podcast over the next few weeks? I like the word sprinkle.
I like the sprinkle. I like the sprinkle. We had such a great time meeting everyone at ASCA.
We
That
had so much fun. There were so many people that I got to know better or even met and fell in love with their spirit. And it was very almost emotional to see all of those school counselors in one place, because we say we know, we don't know your exact story, but we know that you're carrying a story around, and just advocating for one another and encouraging one another. It's just an amazing, amazing experience because it has been a rough year. We talked about how many people are leaving the profession and education in general, and
yeah.
so to be where with like-minded people and encourage one another to keep going, it was very powerful, moving, and we had so much fun.
We did. I'm jealous of the group that went to the ice cream museum. That was our friends from Maine that went to the ice cream museum. We went to a convenience store and got a cupcake and a cookie on my
And
birthday.
I feel like I failed you miserably, and thank you for bringing it back up again.
Well, to be fair, it was the best cookie that we've ever had.
And the
Ever.
group from Arkansas, I mean, how much more can we hint? Take us to the bats. Take us with you to go see the bats.
Let me tell you something. And you know this story. Well, I'm just going to say this. If bats get stuck in my hair,
They're not
it's
coming out.
over. And you
You're
know
right.
how high my hair gets. And
It
so
was extremely
there's a
high.
chance with 1 million bats flying out from under that bridge. For those of you that don't know, Austin, apparently they're super proud of these bats that fly out from underneath the Congress Street Bridge at nighttime, not 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like you drug
No,
me
that
out
was
there,
really, we traipsed for her birthday. I thought we'll go see the bats.
which I hate. I hate
I
flying
drug
things.
her. I think it was a mile walk, and I just heard today it was record-setting heat in Austin for that day that I drug you. And we walked across there. I thought I'm gonna pass out from dehydration and heat, and we got there, no bats.
But we did
Clearly,
smell
they
the
were
guano.
under,
We smelled the
yeah,
guano.
which is bat poop,
Yeah.
allegedly. But they were up under that bridge preparing for their night show. So they were up under there getting groomed,
Getting
if
ready.
you will.
They were
And
getting ready.
obviously you did not want to sit from 2:30 until 9 o'clock at night. And so we angrily stopped to back off to the service station for you a cupcake. I am
Well,
sorry.
by way of a jazz club, I don't like jazz, but you decided that for my birthday, we should go
Do
to
my favorite thing,
a
which is
jazz
the jazz
club.
club.
I don't like jazz. And so you were like, oh, we're going to go to a jazz club. And the one that they had recommended to us was closed. So I thought, phew, dodge that bullet. But no, you found another one. And the only reason that I went along with it was because you said, we'll get a dessert. We'll sit down here and listen to some jazz music.
I was trying to culturalize you, which is impossible. That's why I
Well,
took you to the service station for a cupcake.
we walked into this jazz club, and it
Underbelly.
was the underbelly of the world because we walked downstairs into this basement. It was like a dungeon. There was no light. We're feeling our way through there. We can't see anything.
I could hear
Sorry.
people, snapping their fingers, like to the beatniks, they were snapping their fingers. And I thought this is going to be really cool, but we really could not get our bearings because
And
we
so
really we couldn't see anything. It was
you
completely
asked the waiter, you were like, hey, could we get some tiramisu or something to eat for her birthday? And he's like, no, like we couldn't even get a Dr. Pepper. It was
It's
only,
like you are in the underbelly. You've
yeah.
crawled in where we live. That's called the storm pit. That's where you go when a tornado is coming.
Yeah.
There it was under the earth, and it was very dark. And again, it was a little early in the afternoon. Again, there's no jazz. It's just we're sitting in a dark room because it is, again, my bedtime's 8. I have to entertain you before 8. I'm sorry. Bats come out at night. You're not going to get the bats.
And that's fine with me because
Tell me how good the service station cupcake was. Tell me how good it was.
Okay.
The best you've ever eaten.
We went into the service station and we went around. I found Diet Dr. Pepper, and so that's really all you had to get me for my birthday. I'm pretty easy to please. And then I turned a corner.
I want you to taste those words. I'm pretty easy to please. You're the hardest person to please.
I'm not the one that went around the block 25 times looking for a jazz club. All I wanted was a convenience store cupcake and a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Well, you got
it. And I didn't even want to see the bats. But you're the one that insisted on going to see the bats. I hate flying things. I hate birds. I hate bats. And I've made it my life motto.
All of our Audubon lovers, please discontinue this. Obviously, you can't listen to this podcast anymore. She's so offensive.
My life motto is avoid places where 1 million bats at a time fly out of. That is my life motto. Avoid places like that. So anyway, no, I turned the corner and I saw a cupcake with sprinkles, and I was over
right next to the Tums and the motor oil.
Yep. And there was this cookie that just looked fascinating to me. And the guy that waited on us, you told him it was my birthday. And he was like, I was going to give this to her for free. And you were like, now you tell me after I've already bought it. So he gave us that cookie for free. It was a peanut butter and raspberry jam cookie. And it was like melt in your mouth. So good. And the cupcake had a little hidden treat of raspberry in it too, I believe.
Yeah, it was so good. So you're welcome. You're welcome.
And you got a gallon of water, even though we were leaving in about
Because
12
I had
hours.
to be hydrated
I
down
know.
to you were dragging
Even if
me
I had
through the
wanted to
streets of
wait
Austin.
through the guano smell to 9 o'clock, I took one look at you and realized you're not going to make it. If we don't,
That decade older than she is showing
it is
bad.
showing.
And
Yeah.
I've got to get her up to the room somehow. Lucky for me, you are big enough to handle it.
I said, hop up on here, and you gave you a
Beautiful.
piggyback ride.
Well, I hope that you're completely embarrassed on your behavior this entire trip, and I hope you have time to reflect on that. And so happy to meet all of fellow school counselors. So happy to meet you on this trip. And
Awesome. You can rate and review our podcast because it helps other people find us. And you can go follow us on Instagram, join our Facebook group, and I think that's about it. Anything else?
no, I'm just really excited. I think that was inspirational. I think we come back with a lot of good ideas to share on our podcast. So thank you, listeners and viewers.